Hey, welcome back to In Shannon's Kitchen. I'm coming back at you with yet another dim sum classic, Lo Mai Gai, or sticky rice lotus leaf wraps in English. And yeah, I too like the Cantonese name better, but then again, I'm biased. So it's an ultra fragrant chicken and rice recipe filled with lots of meaty goodness, from the soy sauce marinated chicken to the Chinese sausage or lapchiang and shiitake mushrooms. And if you've never had sticky rice before, you're certainly in for a treat. So let's get started. So the first thing you need to get your hands on is some short grain sticky rice, and this particular bag and brand is from Ranch 99, aka America's favorite Asian supermarket, and it's usually found amongst all the other types of rice. And you know, we Asians, we do love our rice, so it's best to try to seek out this kind of sticky rice in and amongst the entire aisle. That's right, a huge, humongous aisle dedicated to this beloved grain. If you never made sticky rice before, do make sure to soak it overnight in some cold water before cooking, because this will significantly cut down on the steaming time later. And after it's been soaked and drained, you do want to season it with some soy sauce, oyster sauce, and sesame oil, and just make sure to mix it until each granule is coated and glistening in that sauce. So while that's prepped, it's time to move on to the chicken. And here I have some chicken thighs, skinless and boneless of course, and I cut them already into even-sized chunks, and just marinate that in some soy sauce, oyster sauce, you see a theme here, some sesame oil, some Chinese cooking wine, aka Shaoxing wine, some freshly grated ginger, cornstarch, white pepper, and Chinese spice. Then just stir that thoroughly to combine, and then set that aside to marinate for about 30 minutes or so. You can even go up to overnight if you have the time. I just want to show you here what my rice looks like after being prepped, and it looks almost faintly of brown rice, but of course don't be fooled, it's far less nutritious. Okay, so once all the prep work is out of the way, you want to grab a medium-sized frying pan and add 2 generous tablespoons of oil. Make sure your pan is nice and hot and your heat is on high before you start frying your Chinese sausage, which as you can see is very fatty. It's definitely salty, a little bit sweet, and has a very mild alcohol flavor in the background. So once they're nice and caramelized, you want to add the mushrooms and brown them as well. And you want flavor here, so don't shy away from the heat. I know it looks quite overwhelming and maybe a little bit scary with all that smoke, but not to worry, just keep on cooking. And after a few minutes of browning, you want to reduce that heat to medium before you add your minced garlic, because of course you don't want your garlic to burn. And then just saute that garlic until the aroma of garlic is just wafting up into the air, and your nose will tell you when it's done, so hopefully your olfactory senses are working and you don't have you know what. So next goes in the chicken, which should be spread as evenly in a single layer as possible, and just keep the heat on medium and just step away from the chicken. Don't literally step away from the kitchen because then it can burn. But you want to just leave the chicken alone, don't touch it, and just let it caramelize. You're allowing that Maillard reaction to happen, so that way you can really develop a lot of good flavor. Just remember, browning equals flavor. So once the chicken is mostly cooked through, you want to add your rice, and at this point I did turn my heat off as well, and just stir it to combine before you quickly realize, or when I say you as in I, forgot the scallions and the roasted peanuts, so definitely add those as well. I also forgot those little dried preserved shrimp, which you can find at most Asian supermarkets. A lot of times you use it in soups and things like that. Those definitely add a depth of flavor and something I want to try in the future as well. So now for the folding and assembly, it's surprisingly simple and straightforward, but then again, I don't know if there's an actual right or wrong way to do this. So let me know in the comments below what you or your family do to make your Lo Mai Gai. I definitely love to know, and I definitely could use some pointers as well. So for me, I just took about 1 cup of the filling, placed into the center of each leaf, and then just take the top half of the leaf and fold it over towards the pointed bottom, and then just fold that bottom over the top to enclose it. Just make sure to kind of give your filling, a few shakes, and shimmy it down towards the center to make sure it's nice and compacted before you fold over the open end underneath itself to create a little package. And if you like, you can use some kitchen twine as well to tie it up and create a nice little, pretty little package for you. So once you're all done, go ahead and steam your Lo Mai Gai for about 30 minutes or so until that rice is all the way cooked through and tender. And then once you take the lid off your steamer, oh my goodness, you're just going to be greeted with the most beautiful, welcoming aroma of lotus. I don't know how else to describe it because it's just so fragrant, and I don't know, almost has like a tea, I guess, like a oolong tea flavor to it, and it just imparts that flavor into the rice, and it makes everything just so much more delicious. Yes, you could use parchment paper, which is an easy replacement, but it really isn't the same. It's not a substitution. It's not even close, honestly. So if you can find the lotus leaves, definitely use them. It really gives you a multi-sensory experience because you can smell it while you're actually eating your Lo Mai Gai, your sticky rice. So that's why it makes such a unique and delicious dim sum treat. And definitely you have the salty meats, the chicken, paired with some of that sweetness from the sausage, and it's so rich with umami from the shiitake mushrooms, which really absorb all the different flavors. But anyway, it's just so fun to be able to make something that you love at home without spending a fortune at the dim sum restaurants. Because, you know, let's be honest, who here is with me on the same boat where you usually just stick to ordering those small items at dim sum because you don't want to pay the ticket for those large size plates, including Lo Mai Gai, which is considered a large size plate. You saw how easy it was to make. Honestly, it's a little bit of prep work, but it's really easy to make and so delicious when it's nice and fresh and warm and delightful. It's so good. So anyways, make sure to give it a try. Let me know how it goes, and I'll see you back here same time next week.